The FNaF Movie 2 comes out in a little less than a month, and I'm super excited about it. So excited that I decided to partially take away from my own enjoyment and use clips from the trailer and just general context clues to try and piece together what the story could be. Just to be clear, I have read no leaks and am going into this movie completely spoiler-free, so you don't have to worry about spoilers. Everything in this video is just an honest prediction based on what I've seen from the trailers. Let's begin. The movie opens with a camera crew of teenagers driving to an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in the hopes of capturing some paranormal activity on video. This place is established as the original location prior to the one from the first movie. After snooping around for a bit, they come across a creepy security guard who is actually willing to let them in to take a look around. He introduces them to the shiny new toy animatronics and fills them in about the reason this place closed, because a little girl was killed in a mechanical accident. The crew walks through the pizzeria until the night guard mysteriously disappears. Suddenly, each of the crew members are picked off one by the animatronics, who leave the stage by themselves. Now, it's been about 1 year since the last movie, and Mike and Vanessa have started dating. While out at dinner, Mike explains how Abby still thinks about her friends and misses them, and Vanessa talks about the nightmares she has about her father every night. A few days later, Mike wakes up to find that Abby is missing. He finds a note from her on the door saying that she's gone to fix her friends. He then drives to the first movie Freddy's, but instead finds flyers for something called the Faz Fest hanging from the door. We see that Abby has gone to Faz Fest herself, which is a street festival set up by fans of the urban legend of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Abby finds a toy called a Faz Talker before Mike shows up, angry at her for sneaking out. Abby brings the Faz Talker home with her. Abby tries talking to the Faz Talker, but it doesn't work. But later, while she's sleeping, it comes to life by itself and starts talking to her. It seems like her friends are trying to speak to her through it, so she does as it says and leaves home at night. The Faz Talker leads her all the way to the abandoned Freddy's from the opening, and there waiting for her are the toy animatronics. After quickly becoming friends with these new animatronics, Abby has to go home, sneaking into the house with Mike still asleep. The next day, when Abby goes to school, she finds Toy Chica waiting for her. She's thrilled that her new friend has followed her to school, and after having fun with Chica all day, she leaves for home. Chica stays, stalking and eventually killing one of Abby's teachers. Later that night, the 4 toy animatronics show up outside Mike's house. Abby is excited to see them, but Mike doesn't trust these new animatronics for a second. He shoos them away and makes them leave, making Abby angry at him. Wanting to know where these new animatronics came from, Mike does some research into Freddy's history. He finds that there was a Freddy's before the one he worked at, and also that William Afton had a business partner at one point named Henry Emily. As the sun goes down, we watch as Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie come out of the woods and break into houses all around town to kill the people inside. They move from house to house until the sun comes up, making them return to the woods. These murders are reported, and Vanessa goes to Mike to tell him about the supposed animatronics roaming around town. She says she doesn't know why these robots are alive, because they aren't possessed like the others were. That night, Toy Freddy breaks into Mike's house. He steals Abby and disappears with her into the woods. The next morning, when Mike finds that Abby is gone again, he goes to Freddy's and Faz Fest, but she's nowhere to be found. So he tracks down Henry's house for help. Henry is the grumpy shut-in type who explains that when his daughter died at the first Freddy's, it was chalked up to an accident. But after the missing children's incident, he knew that William was behind his daughter's death, and he left the company. He tells Mike where the older location is, but refuses to help him find Abby, saying that he wants nothing to do with Freddy's ever again. Mike goes to the older Freddy's to find Abby, but instead he finds the animatronics from the first movie. They've since been heavily damaged and were somehow called to this older pizzeria. They don't recognize Mike, so he has to use the mask to hide from them. Mike can't find Abby with the Wizards wandering the building, so he survives till 6 a.m. and then goes to Vanessa for help the next night. Vanessa, still having hallucinations of her father, is confused why these long-abandoned animatronics are back and what force could be controlling them. She tries Mike's old dream theory method, surrounding herself with familiar sights from back when that pizzeria was open. At first, she has another nightmare about her father chasing her through the house, but the dream suddenly changes, almost as if it was altered by a separate force. We meet Charlie, Henry's daughter and Vanessa's best friend. This is also where it's revealed that Vanessa has a younger brother named Michael, who, unlike his sister, acts as a willing accomplice to his father's plans. Michael is assisting his father, who is driven by jealousy and resentment toward Henry, in a plan to kill Charlie. They stage a scene where Michael is lured to the back room by the yellow rabbit, and this prompts a worried Charlie to follow Michael back. The yellow rabbit pulls a knife and starts chasing Charlie, who grabs Michael and runs out onto the show stage. She screams for help before William activates the trapdoor on the stage. Vanessa watches in horror as Charlie falls through the trapdoor to her death, her body landing inside the puppet's box. Mike shows up and tells Vanessa about Abby going missing and the old animatronics being at the location. She agrees to help find Abby and begins to suspect that Charlie's vengeful ghost is behind the toys' rampage. She's looking for the Aftons to kill them. They go to Freddy's and split up to find Abby. While Mike avoids Balloon Boy, Vanessa is stalked by the old abandoned puppet animatronic, who she quickly realizes is possessed by Charlie. Her intentions seem unclear, but Vanessa is terrified nonetheless. Eventually, Mike manages to find Abby, who is being held inside a closet. She explains that the toys locked her inside and said they'd be back for her later. The three go back home, but it isn't long before Toy Freddy and Mangle break into the house, trying to take back Abby. Mike and Abby are split up from Vanessa in the sudden attack, and while Freddy chases Mike and Abby through the Faz Fest, Vanessa's car is attacked by Mangle. Eventually, the wild chase ends up with the three back at the older location. The toys eventually catch up to the group, and when it seems like they're about to kill them, the puppet appears. It seems to be defending Vanessa and Abby from them, but it's suddenly put to sleep by the sound of a music box coming from the speakers on the walls. The night guard from the opening appears, revealing himself to be Vanessa's brother, Michael Afton. He's the one who's been controlling the toys this whole time, using Charlie as a cover-up. He wants revenge for the death of his father, and used the toys to gain Abby's trust and eventually lure her and Mike here to kill them. Michael angrily berates Vanessa for going against their father and allowing him to be killed. He then turns the toys on them. Abby cries for help, which wakes up the withered animatronics, her friends. They immediately come to Abby's aid and fight off the toys. Michael shouts at them to stop, but he has no control over them like he does the unpossessed toy animatronics. It isn't long before the toys are reduced to scrap, and the wizards then turn on Michael. But before they can get to him, Charlie wakes up. Unlike the spirits from the last movie, Charlie remembers who killed her. She lunges at Michael, wrapping her arms around his neck. Michael screams and struggles for a long time, but eventually goes limp. He hears Charlie whisper in his ear.
"Shh. It will all be over soon."
Charlie rises from Michael, who is gasping for air, and looks at Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. Her blank expression leaves us unaware of her emotions. After a tense standoff, Charlie takes Michael and drags him away, returning under the stage through the trapdoor.
Little mirror of the first movie, you see what I did there?
After Charlie disappears, Abby has a warm reunion with her friends. She promises that she'll find a way to fix them, and thanks them for saving her. The reunion is heartfelt but short, as the three must leave, having narrowly escaped death a second time. We then go back to Henry for a brief moment and watch as he seems to be working on some kind of new animatronic, and after that we go to the Freddys from the last movie. The movie ends on Afton's body, even further bloody and decayed, slowly twitching back to life, eyes aglow.
Well, now I know what you're probably wondering. What about those 4 script pages that Scott showed us a while back, where only one was real and the rest were... Shut up!
My current theory is the same one as game theories. I believe the original script page is this one and that they're using fake names for the characters to throw us off track. I don't believe it's this one because page 25 is way too early in the movie for something like this to happen, and I don't believe it's these two because from what we've seen, neither plushies nor the military are involved in the story whatsoever. Now that that's been discussed, come back to this video in like a month to see how accurate I was, and read my comics on Reddit.